guys, welcome back to another colorful Keto with Dory. So it's Sunday afternoon and it's rainy and yucky where I live, but my guy went out and picked our very first batch of our early berries, and I decided berries need cake. So I thought, let's make just a super fast mug cake. So we're going to make my favorite chocolate mug cake, and we're going to make just a regular shortcake mug cake to do a strawberry shortcake later. So let's start with the chocolate. Now, I did post the recipe we're going to use a variation of. This one is a flourless cake. So if you have nut allergies, this one doesn't have anything in it that you cannot have. So we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of cocoa. Hello, Miss Jessica, Miss Vicky, Chantel, it's so nice to see you. Oh, and there you go, I picked a spoon that doesn't fit in there. I would do that. Why wouldn't I do that? Look at that, we got a tablespoon that fits in there. There we go. So we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of cocoa. Now, the original recipe I saw for this called for 4 tablespoons of cocoa. 4 was way too much, and the spoon is stuck in there. There we go. I'm so smooth. What? Smooth like Dory. If you want to be smooth when you grow up, give me a heart if you want to be smooth when you grow up. Smooth like Dory. And of course, cocoa is like only the messiest thing to spill on your counter, right? Because it's like the finest dust form ever. Okay, so we've got 2 tablespoons of cocoa. Now, the original recipe calls for a tablespoon of heavy whipping cream, and we're going to substitute that out with a tablespoon of coconut cream instead, because I'm doing the dairy-free gig these days. And I've tried it a couple of times. I find it swaps out just fine. Then, the next thing that this original recipe calls for is a little bit of baking powder. So we're going to throw in a little bit of baking powder. 1/4 teaspoon is what this recipe calls for. Now, it calls for 2 tablespoons of sweetener, and today we're using sweet drops. So I'm going to say sweetener to taste, whichever you prefer. I do find that sometimes the solid sweeteners will get a little bit crystally when you bake this cake. So I'm going to mix this together, and then we're going to add 1 egg to this, and that's it. That's the chocolate one done. It'll go in the microwave. I'm going to let them cook, and then perhaps later this evening, because these are for dessert, I'm going to do up some whipped cream, and I'll take some nice pictures of what they look like cut in layers with whipped cream and strawberries. But every time you make a mug cake, you want to taste the batter. If it is not absolutely delicious that you want to eat it off the spoon instead of cooking it, it's going to be bitter. So no matter what recipe you look at, always keep in mind your taste for sweetness. Everyone's recipe will say how they like it, but that may be too sweet for you, that may be not sweet enough for you. So always take time to check your batters, check your cookies, check your doughs before you bake them, and make sure that they're going to taste good, because then that's how we don't end up with the keto fails, and we don't end up throwing ingredients in the garbage if we make sure it is what we want before we cook it. So I'm going to get this one all scraped, and I'm going to taste the batter, because I am not a hypocrite. I will always taste my batter and make sure it's sweet enough. And I'm going to add just a little bit more sweet drop to it. Now, I have used all of my sweeteners for this, and I don't find personally that it makes a difference my sweetener of choice. So I always say of choice. I've made this with every single kind of sweetener that I buy, and it's worked out amazingly good with every single kind. You just want to make sure it's sweet enough. And I'm going to give you guys another tip. This is the same recipe I use for mug cake as I do for lava cake. So for a mug cake, you cook it for the whole 90 seconds, and it'll fluff right up, and we'll get layers to cut. If you want it as a gooey lava cake, cook it for 50 to 60 seconds, depending on your microwave, and then it's going to have that ooey gooey lava top center. I also will do this recipe and I'll put a little blob of walnut butter or almond butter in the middle to give it a really nice gooey center, or cream cheese. You can put cream cheese in the middle, and this is the easiest recipe you will ever come across. This only makes a single serve, but when you're doing them up for your family, you just make up a couple of them all together. So this one is the chocolate, and that's ready. And we're going to make, this is a variation of my regular mug cake, but I want it to be a little bit fluffier and lighter. So instead of using a nut flour, we're going to do this one with a coconut flour so that it's a lighter, fluffier cake. I got my big mess over here. So that's our chocolate one. Now I do recommend when you do this that you scrape down the side just so it doesn't make a big mess in the microwave and cling to everything. You can do this in a mug, you can do it in a ramekin. I do it in silicone molds as well, seasonally. You guys have seen me do kind of some of the seasonal stuff. So that's the chocolate. Then we're going to do, I want it to taste like a strawberry shortcake. So we're going to start with a tablespoon and a half of coconut flour. Now when I do my normal nut flour recipes, it's 4 tablespoons, but coconut flour absorbs more moisture. So we're going to use about a tablespoon and a half of coconut flour. We're going to add our baking powder, same, 1/4 teaspoon. How's your guys' Sunday? I'm so excited to hang out with you today. Yay! Hello, Melody. Hello, Louise. Hello, Carl. Hello, Carefree. We're hanging out and having fun today. So, same thing, sweetener. Oh, and I forgot the vanilla in this. This is supposed to have a teaspoon of vanilla too. Good thing I got to chatting. We'll add a teaspoon of vanilla to that as well. Just about forgot. Now, I have forgotten that before. I've made it without the vanilla. I didn't die. Just for the record, it still was just as yummy. But I did, I don't want to forget the vanilla. It is supposed to have vanilla in it. Oh, that is so good. Like, actually though, so good. And it should be. You should really be tempted to be like, do I really have to cook this? So instead of vanilla for this one, we're going to use a combination of cake batter flavor and a little bit of strawberry because I want it to taste like a strawberry shortcake, this one. So we're going to use just the teeniest bit of strawberry. These are my candy flavorings, so you use just a drop of these ones. They are teeny, super strong flavoring. If you guys are looking for these ones, I picked them up at a specialty cake shop or at Bulk Barn, but they're also available on Amazon, and they have some really cool little bundles. Like you can get tropical flavors, you can get candy flavors, everything from root beer to butter, and you name it. So with this recipe, we're going to use a tablespoon of oil, any oil you want. I'm going to use coconut oil for this one. Oh, and the other thing, oh goodness, I'm forgetting things all over the place. Pinch of salt. So, pinch of salt in this one, pinch of salt in that one. Oh, forgetful Dory. Okay, so we've got the baking powder in there, we've got the coconut oil in there. Last thing to go in this one is the egg. There we go. Now, when I used my farm fresh eggs that Donna gave me the other day, it made my stuff really yellow. So although they're awesome, I will caution you, unless you want yellow food, save your farm eggs for when you're eating them as eggs, because they will make your baking a little bit more yellow than just a regular store-bought, which is awesome for vitamins and stuff like that too. It's because they eat bugs. So we're going to mix this one up. And then they're going to go in the microwave for 90 seconds. And then I'll pop them out, show them to you guys. We'll slice them up so that they can cool. And then when I do dinner, I will make up some coconut whipping cream, which is just chilled coconut cream, and you stabilize it with a little bit of xanthan gum. And do you know what? What the heck? Let's add a little coconut cream to this one too and give it a nice creamy flavor. Why not? I like creamy things, especially when it comes to cake. It gives it that extra moist little bit of flavor. And you know what? A quick little mug cake will make any day better, just saying. Oh, that smells so good. So I'm going to taste that one and see if it's sweet enough, and then they go into the microwave. I'm going to make that one a little bit sweeter. And I'm going to add a little bit more of the cake batter flavor, just one more drop of that one. Because I want it to taste very much like a vanilla cake. So I might even add just a teeny little bit of vanilla to it too once I taste it and see. More like a traditional shortcake, which I haven't actually, I like that, which I haven't tried yet. This is a new thing that you guys get to try with me today. So these pop in the microwave for a minute and a half. I'm going to get them ready to go into the microwave. And then if you guys have any quick questions, if you want to chat about anything, we can talk about what we got on the go for Monday. If you guys have any quick questions while these bake up, I will be more than happy to answer them. Let's just quick clean the sides on this. That way it will bake up nice. And again, double check your batter. That's going to be perfect. And then the chocolate one. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, into the microwave, 90 seconds. Okay. And we'll dance a little, why not? Because we got a minute and a half while our cake bakes. I will say, you know what, pre-keto, I never had cake in a minute and a half. I was never able to, you know what, just make a snack, make something I wanted in just minutes. So for me, it's a blessing. I always would have to bake a full cake before, and then you know what happens. You just eat the whole thing, right? And if you don't dance around in your kitchen like an idiot, I highly recommend it. It is the most fun part of my day. Tell you what, guys. Okay, so I'll see if we had any questions. Oh, a headache for 3 days, snacking on cucumbers. Now, I'm going to say, Christy, how are you for electrolytes? Are you getting enough salts? Have you bought your pink Himalayan salt? Have you tried half salt or no salt? Droppers for those little bottles, buy them at the craft store. You want the glass ones because, yes, they're meant to use the whole dram all together, so a dropper, not so easy. What I do is I'll save my leftover bottles from my sweet drops and use the droppers for those. But to get a teeny one that fits in here, you're gonna want to do that at a craft store. And you definitely want the metal droppers, like the glass droppers, and not the plastic ones, just because they're really strong. At least that's what I was told. I don't know. Okay, so let's take a peek at these. And they are done. I'm going to let them cool just a second there. And then I will pop them out for you guys. That is very, very hot, hot, hot. Let me grab my oven mitt out. I know I left one handy. Dory's so smooth. Oh, there it is. Aha. Right on top of the toaster. So, to pop these out, you're just going to run your knife around it. I'm going to let it cool and then slice it off into really pretty slices. And let's just make sure that, oh, we're not. Do you know what? I'm going to give them another 20 seconds. I usually do one cake at a time. So I'm just going to give them another 20 seconds. Because we're still a little lava-y at the bottom. And this one we want to be a light, fluffy, fluffy cake. Okay, so Christy says, yes, she makes Dr. Berry's Ketorade. And she drinks 2 glasses a day. These are not essential oils. These are candy oils. So you can I don't know. It's debatable. Can you use essential oils or can you not? If you guys follow Robin Davis of Keto for Life, she is doing a live about essential oils. I've seen a little bit of information, but I am by no means an expert to tell you guys about essential oils and what we can and can't use them for. I do have somebody online to talk with us about it, but I don't have that information just yet. These, I just know, are a food grade flavoring extract. So they're not an essential oil, they're just a flavoring extract. 1 and 2. Now this is the first time I've baked them off in a mason jar as well. Just because I thought I want to see how tall they'll get. And usually what I'll do is I usually take 3 coffee mugs, I put a little muffin liner in each one, and I divide my one recipe into 3 little to-go muffins, because for me that's a lot of serving of cake for one sitting. So I'm going to grab us a plate to pop these out onto so that we can see how they come out. And then, like I said, I'll let them cool. A little bit later, I will plate them up for you so you can see. And of course, because I'm trying to be all smooth like. Ooh, and that is some hot, I'll tell you what. Ooh. You want to talk about hot stuff, I'll tell you some hot stuff. There we go. So we've got our one. Now, once I slice it all up too, it's going to look an awful lot prettier. It's going to come off in 3 slices. I'm going to put some whipped cream in there in between, some strawberries for garnish. I mean, half of the prettiness is in the end with how you plate a food. Oh, and we still have just a little bit of the lava at the bottom, which I think I'm going to leave on the chocolate cake, because I can't lie, lava cake is my absolute favorite. So this is what they look like when they first pop out of the microwave, and you can see this one still has like the lava goo at the bottom. So I think I'm going to slice that one and save that part to garnish for the top. And you just want to let them cool a little bit and cut them into relatively even slices. But man, does that ever taste like shortcake. So I will catch you guys later, and I will show you a nice picture of what these look like later when I've got them all plated up with strawberries and whipping cream and all of that. But on the days where you've had a rough day and you just need cake, this is my Shark Week favorite, guys. Single serve mug cake, you can't go wrong. If you know you're traveling, make it up as 3 little muffins. You can add any flavor you want. You don't get caught unaware in the situation where you eat stuff you shouldn't. So, I'll see you guys later. Have an awesome day. It was so nice to see you. Oh, my Nancy. My darling. Oh, yes, keto ice cream with them. Nancy, did you get that ready yet today? Hearts if you got it ready, because I want to let you guys know. Nancy is dropping the best keto ice cream recipe I have ever seen in my life today. So it is actual full-on keto ice cream. It is only 5 grams net carbs per half cup serving, and it is made out of only ingredients that we can have. So I don't know if you guys have had a run-in with some of the low-carb / not really keto ice creams, but I bought a Halo Top thinking it would be okay. And I realized I was addicted to it, and I ate the whole tub. So I don't buy it. It really, really triggers my sugary cravings because of the cane sugar. I know it's a small amount, and for some people it's okay. But for me, man, it lights me up like a Christmas tree. Yay! Awesome. I'm so excited. Lynette is going to make the cake tonight. So I will catch you guys later, and I hope you have an awesome Sunday. Bye, guys. Oh, we need something to dance out to. Of course we do. Let's see what we got going on here. Not that one. That's not that fun. Let's see what we got. Oh, have a great Sunday, guys. And you know what? Today, let's eat cake. Have a great day, guys.